Welcome to another edition of 42 Straight Years In, Volume 2, Part 40. I'm a crackhead update. It didn't happen in this neighborhood, but I was in South Dallas. I was watching a crackhead ride a bicycle, and he ran right into a bus sign. I mean, he was going full speed, coming down Malcolm X, and it's downhill all the way. That bus stop sign put him in critical condition. They had to call the ambulance for him. I don't know how he turned out, but he got it. EMS had to take him to Parkland Hospital. That's my crackhead update. Y'all know what it is. Get your shanks out and let's ride. Our boy Lion Willie, he had to drop this lady he was dealing with. She trying to get slick. He had told her about the lawsuit that we got going to try to get him compensation for wrongfully convicted. And she was all over him trying to get entwined in the lawsuit where she can get some type of money. So he dropped her like a hot potato. He's got a car now. He's riding. He's mobile. And on my Spectrum internet, I've called Spectrum. One of the subscribers gave me a number. I've called that number 6 times. Still no live operator. Now they got Spectrum has 3 offices here in Dallas. Not too far from where I live. They're in the downtown area. And I'm in East Dallas. I'm going to go by one of the offices and try to talk to them. But they sent me an email said that I owe them $60. First it was 43, now it went up to 60. I ain't paying these clowns a quarter until this. If they don't activate it, they're not getting paid. They can have the equipment. I'm really pissed at them. My subconscious mind is telling me to do the fool. Take this junk and throw it in the dumpster. To hell with the $1,000 fine. I ain't gonna pay it no way. I don't give a shit about credit being bad. I don't care. I don't use it no way. Anyway, Texas Prison Stories had did a video on guys knock on the table in the chow hall when they finish eating. I'm of the opinion that came about when they had inmate guards, because Texas had the silent system. There's a lot of places in Texas prison that didn't allow no talking. In the hallways, you couldn't talk. You couldn't wave at your homeboy on the other side of the hallway. He's going one way, you going the other way, you couldn't wave at him. You had to speak with your eyes. You better not wave. In the chow hall, no talking. It was absolute silence in there. Now, so guys would knock on the table. That's just like telling a guy, hey man, I'll catch you later, or have a nice day, or enjoy your meal. It could have several meanings because we operated years ago on the silent system. It varied from unit to unit. At Eastham, they didn't have building tenders in the chow hall. They only have one turnkey standing at the door. And he's the man that would tell them to call chow, to send some more people to chow. Now Ramsey was totally different. It'd be about 8 building tenders standing around that chow hall. And they don't, you could sit in there and drink wine, order your cheeseburger or a steak sandwich and all that. You could sit there and drink wine right in front of the warden. They didn't give a shit, but you wasn't going to be sitting up in there talking. You had to do what you was going to do and do it in silence. No talking. Also, when you got up and finished eating, you had a spoon and a fork. It was a building tender standing right at the window where the trays go at. You got to hold your spoon and fork up in the air so they can see it. Then you put it in the pan and you go on out the door. But if you do not hold it up in the air, you finna get beat down. You got to show, hey, I received a spoon and a fork to eat with, and I'm returning it back. If you do not hold that spoon and fork up, You just got sent to the unit infirmary with some knots on your head. But people been talking about the Texas 7. One point they fail to realize, this show you a lot about Texas inmates and how sex offenders are dealt with. 3 of the Texas 7 were sex offenders. Look at them, they work in the maintenance department. They wasn't attacked. They don't attack sex offenders in Texas. Now, I've said it before, you can't just walk around bragging on it, but you're not attacked because you're a sex offender. Now, once they recruited me to work on death row at the Polonsky unit. And if you got an escape charge in a Texas prison, every 10 days, they move you to another housing unit. Every 10 days, you got to move. They do that so in case you didn't start trying to take the concrete loose in that cell or bricks, however that cell is designed, depending on the prison you're at, they can slow your progress down on trying to break out of prison. Well, my first day working back on death row, I had to go to F pod. That's level 3. Texas administrative segregation and death row is divided into levels. You got level 1. Well, this guy, if you're in level 1, you got all your property. You go to recreation every day. You can spend $60 at the commissary. And you got level 2, where you go to rec 4 times a week. And you can't buy no food items from the commissary. But you can spend $20 getting stamps and hygiene. Then they got level 3, where you can only get $10 in stationery. You can get 1 tube of toothpaste and 1 deodorant. That's level 3. Also, level 3, you do not get dessert on your tray. You do not get punch. You do not get coffee at breakfast time. That's level 3. Now, if you're at level 1, you got your radio, your typewriter, your fan. Well, all of new prisons, administrative segregation is air conditioned. So you don't necessarily need a fan. Now, at the old prisons, it's not air conditioned. Well, my first day working in Ad Seg, I had to go to F pod level 3. We had George Rivas, the so-called leader of the Texas 7. He was back there. And I've told this before, they was running a lot of the guys off who worked back there. Guys were afraid to work because he was spearing them, shooting them with crossbows, throwing hot water on them, throwing piss on them, throwing feces on them. So nobody wanted to work there. Well, my first day back there, I gave him a little speech. I said, hey, man, I've been locked up a long time. And when I finish cleaning up and taking care of my business, I'll run errands for you guys. And so I'm picking up all they had, throw trays all over the place. I mean, trays, food was everywhere. They'd been setting fires and everything. So I'm trying to get this crap all cleaned up. And I heard somebody say, psst, psst. So I look around, I see a cell, but the guy got the window in his cell blacked out where you can't see in it. So he kept making that sound. Now, I'm not going to walk up to a dark cell. So he took the stuff out of the window and he said, hey, man, I'm George Rivas. He said, I'm not going to bother you. I said, man, I'm not worried about you bothering me. He said, well, a lot of people is afraid of me. I said, well, I'm not afraid of you, dude. I didn't want to tell him at Polonsky. He was in general population. Dude would kick the shit out of him. He's not impressive to nobody. You know, I told him, I said, hey, man, you might impress these guys back here. I said, but it took 7 of you fuckers to kill 1 man. I said, I did that by myself. I ain't had no 7 with me. I was alone. You know. One word led to another one. I had to kind of let him know, hey, man, you got to come out of that cell with handcuffs on. I will knock your damn head off when you come out of that cell. Simple as that. I care nothing about you. You're not impressive to me. I don't give a shit about no Texas 7, no Texas 10. You're a 0. And that was my interaction with them. They kept them separated. For the longest, they wouldn't even let them fools make commissary. They treated them bad. They would never put them on level 1. They always go 3 to 2, 3 to 2, level 2 to level 3, level 3 to level 2. They never put them on level 1 where you can get out all your property and make commissary. They never did that. They screw them over all the time. I was talking like Polonsky once to a little Hispanic guy. He was a sex offender, and a lot of Hispanics didn't want to be in the cell with him. They'd run him off. Me and him was talking one day. He was sitting beside my cell. I just got off work. And for some reason, the lady couldn't let me in the cell. So I just lit me a cigarette sitting there on the floor by my door smoking. So he was sitting there, me and him started a conversation. He said, hey, you guys always tell me about sex offenders. He said, most of the guys here got kids, don't even care about them. He had a valid point. That don't justify you molesting a kid or raping a female. That don't justify it. But look how many kids is abandoned. They don't even know who their father is. Look how many sorry dudes. Boy, you got to be a cold-blooded dude. Your own flesh and blood. You don't even care about them. You don't go by and see them. You don't help the mother out. You ain't going to pay child support. You just tell the police, catch me when you can. And that's pitiful. You just as sorry as a sex offender is. I don't know how you could do that. You might not care for the mother, but the kid is your flesh and blood. A lot of young kids raised up, they don't know who their dad is. They don't have no father figure in their life, because most males got a thing. If a woman has a kid, she's got baggage. She's strictly going to be pump and dump. No one, it's some guys, it's some simps who hook up with her. She still might have looks. And some guys are hook up and sometimes support the kid, but that's kind of rare. I gotta head over to Oak Cliff, get this video uploaded. It looks like rain outside, so I'm gonna have to cut it short. Y'all keep your shanks ready and be ready to ride at a moment's notice. Like and subscribe. And y'all have a good day. I thank you for watching.